Monster Money asks, would you write about these points to make up the entire essay? And do I quote a paragraph, or would you make these points one paragraph? Right, each point is a separate paragraph, and there's no point writing a big quotation out. You would just take individual words from the quotation and write about them as you make each point. Would you fit all the quotes in the paragraph? No. Each time you change an aspect of the quotation, you can start a new paragraph. It might help for us to see the video that you're writing about. And this is actually a really useful video because it's all about this one long quotation, the inspector's final words. And as I've said, you would just talk about each little part of it separately, and each part would be a different paragraph. Thanks, Reggae. I'm glad it helped. Joe Gorman, when I quote a metaphor or something else, how much should I explain it? Well, usually 2 sentences are enough, 2 different ideas. That's a quick shorthand. Anyone have any prediction about tomorrow's exam? Yeah, it's going to be of mice and men. That's quite funny. My videos train you, I hope, to always write about the author's purpose, and the author's purpose will fit every single question. So that's the way to revise. Think about the author's purpose for each text. Is it too late to post an essay and grade it? Yeah, I won't be able to make you a whole video on it, but if you post it, I may have time to look at it in a video like this. Do you lose marks if you write a quote from a book that's incorrect? If it's a closed book exam and therefore you don't get the book in there, the answer is no. If you do get the book in there, as long as the error is minor, it won't count against you. But if you do it a few times, the A and the A star will be questionable because the examiner won't have confidence in you. Probably you can still get an A. Oh, look, we aren't allowed our books in the exam. There you go, that answers your question. So these questions I'll just scan through for a good one. I've already answered Olivia's question today in one of my videos today. S. Richards, why does Steinbeck construct the character of Lennie as a whole, like the main reason? Okay, well, it's because Steinbeck wants to show that none of us are innocent. He's playing with the idea of original sin. Original sin comes to us from the Catholic faith. It comes to us from Genesis. And the idea is that Adam and Eve committed the original sin of eating the forbidden fruit when God specifically told them not to do so. And because we're all descended from Adam and Eve, we all carry that sin with us. And so a way of looking at human nature then is to say that although we'll always try to be good, ultimately our sins will always come out. We'll always commit evil acts, no matter how good we are. And Lennie embodies that. He is the ultimate good person in that he is completely innocent. He doesn't understand sexuality at all. He doesn't understand what killing is. He doesn't have the capacity to be cruel. And nevertheless, he is the most destructive character. And Steinbeck could be suggesting that actually we're always destined to commit evil acts because even at our most innocent, we cannot be kind. So that's one reason. And then there's the obvious thematic reasons about exploring the idea of mental disability and how society discriminates against him. But I prefer the religious one that I've just given you. That is like my main reason. Sir, could you do a video on structure for the answer in the unseen poetry? Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 videos on that. Just search my playlists. Don't be lazy. They're definitely there. Is it possible for them to give us a question purely about setting for Of Mice and Men? Yeah, it is possible. This is Mega Z again asking me an A-star type question. The best way to revise for that is to look at the first page of each chapter, which is entirely setting, and think about why Steinbeck does that. Usually each setting is absolutely full of symbol. Often it's religious, often like the halter chains of the horses, it's about fate, and it also encourages us to see a negative fate. So yes, you could. However, it's unlikely. But if you get a passage that includes the beginning of a chapter, then you would include your points about the setting. This is a really good question from Olivia Kemp. It's good because my own students in class often have this problem. One in particular will often freeze at the beginning of the exam. So what do I do if we get into the exam and have a complete block? How would you advise to begin, even if you don't feel confident about the question? If that's you, I would advise you just to write down 3 quick ideas that the question gives you, no matter how stupid they are, about the characters or the theme. The reason that will help is it will just unlock you. It will get rid of that block because you're allowing yourself to write stuff that's gibberish. That doesn't matter. Once you've written 3 things, one of those will be good enough to write about, I guarantee. The other thing that will help you is that the examiner couldn't care less how you begin. You know, they just don't care. What they're getting to is, where's your first quotation? What are you going to say about that quotation? How are you going to link it to the author's purpose? Well, knowing that about the examiner, you can easily start by writing about the author's purpose, and you can revise that today. You know what the author's purpose is, but if you don't, have a look at some of my videos. If you begin with the author's purpose, you can't go wrong. And then finally, the easiest way is to look at the words in the question and just start writing using those words. Don't worry if you write complete rubbish for a paragraph. Just the act of writing will help you get better ideas as you go, and a better one here and a better one there. And then after 5-6 minutes, you can say, oh yeah, that first idea was rubbish. I'll just cross it out, start my essay here. So I hope that helps. There's no need to panic. It's like doing a driving test. I say to myself, I took my driving test when I was 30. Even the least intelligent student I have ever taught knows how to drive. And it's a bit like that with the exam. Even students who haven't paid attention all year can still do the exam. So if you've been revising, you'll have no problem. Good luck.